Welcome to the Road of Life podcast
Episode 1
with Craig Bennett and
Meredith McKay.
So I think we're going to start off, this is our first episode, we're going to start off by talking about the Road of Life concept, how we came up with it.
Why we came up with it.
Share a little bit of our background and how we've gone from the 9 to 5 grind, living that default life, to now pursuing a lifestyle by design, lifestyle that
we love,
that we live on our terms.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the end, we'll share the antidote to fear, how you can overcome any obstacle, anything that's holding you back related to fear, that one thing that can eliminate that.
There's one antidote.
There's one anecdote, and we'll share that. So the Road of Life concept, McKay.
Well, we came up with it on a road trip. Interestingly enough, I guess fittingly enough. It's interesting because we were implementing sort of element 1 of our dream life. When we started this journey, we created our dream life. We mapped it all out, and the first thing we were executing was leaving winter behind and heading down to Arizona, spending winter in the desert sun as opposed to the windy, cold snow. And on that trip, I think you hopped out of the shower and said, I have an idea. This is what we should call our business, Road of Life. You want to tell everybody why you were so excited hopping out of that shower?
I think it was just that I think the Road of Life, like the road trip concept to me is like a really good metaphor for life in general. So like you're on this journey, and that's what life is a journey. There's no real destination.
Well, there's one destination.
There's one.
We're all going to get there.
We're going to get there. We don't want to get there anytime soon. But you're going to be thrown all kinds of twists and turns in the road. You're going to have weather and traffic, but you're also going to have these really cool adventures and things to see and do. And the road trip analogy for me is like just a microcosm of your journey through life. And so I thought, as we were on that road trip, and I was in the shower, I think we were in Virginia or something. Mm-hmm. Got out of the shower, and I just like, I think this is what we might want to consider calling our business, the Road of Life, given that, we're on this journey of leaving behind the corporate world for our dream life.
I love that it came to you in the shower. I think most people, and for sure for us, we do our best thinking in there, and you had a brilliant idea.
So I think going back, like, well, how did we get to that point in time where we were in the shower in Virginia, on our way to Arizona? And I think just taking a step back is, we made a decision that we didn't want to live life on other people's terms anymore. We were in the corporate world. We had 9-to-5 jobs, making 6-figure income. Like it was not that we weren't treated well,
By all metrics, by all default life metrics, we were successful. We were living our life, doing things. We were, taking the vacations when we were able to take them. Like by all metrics of a default life, we were having success on that life. But when we got faced with a fork in the road, that's really what, precipitated the decision. Is our company gave us a decision. You can move across the country or you can go. And I think our initial gut reaction to that was, well, we'll keep our jobs and move across the country. But then something else came in.
Well, I think it was just more of like, it was I don't want my time dictated to me. I don't want to. I don't want to be told where to live anymore.
That's what came in.
Yeah, like I just
this desire for more.
Yeah, it's like, wait, this corporation gets to tell me where I'm gonna live. Like,
I have to ask someone for a Friday afternoon off.
Yeah,
I'm tired of that.
Yeah, And so I think we just started to realize that
there's more.
Though we were, treated pretty well from a financial perspective, it comes with a cost. Like that, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, your freedom comes at a cost. Your salary is great, but what it costs you is your freedom.
Yeah, and so I think we just realized that it was just not for us anymore, and we wanted to figure out a different way. And really didn't know what that was going to be. Had no idea. We just had this feeling in our guts that told us that you don't want to move and continue with this way of life. Figure something else out. And
for two highly planful people, we're big planners. Making this decision was a bit blind. We, as Craig mentioned, it felt like the right decision in our gut, but we didn't know what was next. We did not have a well-baked plan on this, then this, then this. It was one blind step in the dark at a time at this point. Yeah. And trusting that the plan would reveal itself. Yeah. And then I think for people who are thinking along the same lines of, where do they start? Like people who are in this world where they're maybe realizing that, oh, gee, that's a good point. I have to live here in this area, which I don't really necessarily want to, or I am in this career that I don't love, or whatever. The day to day is a grind that what I find is we were wishing away the days till the weekend, and then wishing away the weeks till vacation, and really what that means is you're wishing your life away. And we were wishing away years until retirement. We had a countdown. 17 years till retirement. For retirement. And so, yeah, to your point, that's basically means you're wishing away a lot of those years where you could have an amazing life in those, 17 years in your life. That's a huge chunk, and you're kind of wishing it away until you get to retirement. And so that's when, for anyone else who's feeling that way, wishing away your years until you retire, wishing away your days until the weekend, where do you start? It's scary. Yeah. When you're on the default life, it's the only life you know. We call it the default life, but it's the life that we grew up, that we were taught, that you get good grades, you get a good job, you work hard, build your pension, retire, enjoy your retirement, and then die. And you take it as it comes, essentially. You take life as it comes, just because that's the way we were raised, is to your point, that exact mapped out route that you just said. And then anything else that happens along that journey, you're just taking it as it comes. You're responding to it. Yeah. You're not actually going out and planning and executing and finding the things that really... Being intentional about designing a life you actually enjoy. And so when you end up on the default life, like we did, like many people do, life is happening to you. You're not creating your life. You're not designing your life. So it's not necessarily a life you love. And that's how you end up wishing away your days, weeks, and years until retirement. And, retirement's guaranteed to no one. So part of that was we were tired of waiting, and we wanted to live a life that we loved today. We didn't have any idea how to make that happen. We did not know what that life was going to be like. None, but we did see that we did start to get the inkling that there was more out there. We started to at least go down that path of, when we were forced with the decision, had that not happened to us, had the company not said, hey, we want to move you back out here, out west, further away from where you want to be, I don't know that we would have got there. No. But it was this giant flashing exit sign on the highway. On the road of life. On this sort of default life that we were living. Our road of life was this default highway that we were just on. Autopilot on the highway. And then all of a sudden, there was a flashing exit sign. Like, hey, you have an option here. You can continue down this road. You're doing well on it. However, if you're looking for something else, here's an exit. Yeah. Choice is yours. If you're looking for a little more, if you're looking for something that fills you up a little bit more, if you're looking for your dream life, you got to start, or the opportunity to at least start, thinking planning that and building that, then here's where you want to go. And so at least we saw that exit ramp. Even though we took that ramp, we got on this other road, we had no idea where we were going. No idea. Just no destination, no plan, no itinerary, no clue. But we knew that this ramp led us to a lifestyle by design.
meaning we can now start to plan or think about what is it that we want our life to look like. And that didn't happen immediately.
Nope. Which is an exciting concept. That's the pull.
Yeah.
The flip side of that excitement is it's terrifying. We were walking away. I think our friends and family, most of them for sure, thought we were nuts. We were each walking away from 6-figure incomes from, and I'm using air quotes that no one can see, stable jobs to pursue, we didn't know what yet, but we had made the decision. And so it was a very scary decision.
Extremely scary. And so when you're faced with a decision like that and you're faced with a bunch of fear of the unknown, in this case for us, but I mean, fear takes many forms. For us in this particular case, it was, what the heck are we going to do with our lives if it's not that? Given, and we haven't even talked about this, and we will, I'm sure, in a future episode, but our identities are very, very closely tied to this career we've chosen, this path, and by saying no and walking away from that, you are losing some of that, right? Yeah. And so there's a fear. I don't know that that's the most prominent one right away, but it's something that comes along with that.
There's a whole swirl of fears. Unknown being the biggest one, judgment being another one, criticism, rejection, failure. Yeah. There's a whole suite of fears that come with making a big change in come with everything. Let's be clear. But when you're deciding to make a big change in your life, there is a whirlpool of fears trying to suck you down.
Yeah. And I think the thing that helped us the most with this fear, and I guess this is the antidote for fear, was just doing it.
Take action.
Just go.
It almost doesn't even matter what the action is. As long as you think it's whatever step you take is going to get you closer to where you want to be, take it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to see 3, 4, 5 steps in front of you. So you're not going to be able to map out your whole route before you start.
Which was really hard for us being planners.
Very hard for
being
us.
Planners, this is something that, like, okay, if I'm going to make this decision, here are all the things that I need to have happen before I jump.
Yeah.
In this case,
we had to jump and build our parachute on the way down.
Right.
And that was not how we were used to working.
Not how we operated. Not our MO.
Which created a lot more fear. Because we were not only doing something, working in a different realm, but we were working in a different way. And so there was an enormous amount of fear around making this change. And it never fully ever goes away. You're never going to be fearless. And that's not the goal. The goal is not to be fearless because we're human beings and we're going to feel fear always for everything that's new and changing. The goal is to feel the fear
and go anyway.
Take action anyway. That's how you build momentum.
And I think one of the other keys is not to wait until you feel like you're ready. It's never going to happen that way. You're never, ever going to actually be ready for the big thing.
That's exactly like us. Like if we waited till we had a fully baked plan,
we'd still be sitting there spinning our wheels.
We would still be sitting there spinning our wheels, working our corporate job.
Yeah.
And so it's the scariest thing you can do when you're afraid is to take an action. Because you, like I said, we had a lot of different fears. One of them being failure, another one being rejection, another one being criticism. And one of the things that makes taking action so difficult is you're afraid you're going to fail. You're going to take the wrong action. You're going to go in the wrong direction. What if you take a step backwards? What if? There's a million what ifs.
Yeah.
But as long as you're moving forward, and forward might actually be sideways, as long as you believe the step you're taking is moving you in the direction you want to be going, which for us, we didn't have a strong direction. We were just moving toward a life that we were designing. And so we took the next logical step toward a life that we could design rather than the life that we were living by default. And so every single one of those steps was not successful for us.
Oh my God. There's so many steps that are, I would call them missteps, wrong steps.
And we're going to talk about those in a future episode for sure.
Oh yeah. The failures and that's the thing is you're never going to make a decision perfect.
Nope.
You're never going to make a decision and then make no mistakes. Mm-hmm. So get that out of your mind.
Because that's something else we believed.
Totally.
We would learn from other people's mistakes. Recovering perfectionists.
We're recovering perfectionists. But at this point in time, we were perfectionists.
Correct. We thought we could learn from everybody else's mistakes, read the books, listen to the podcast, do all the things, and learn from other people's mistakes, and then we would just make none.
But we did learn from other people's mistakes. We didn't make as many, but we still made a lot of our own.
And so we always took the action that we thought would take us in the direction we were trying to go. There was missteps, there was misfires, there was wrong steps, there was all kinds of mistakes. But we kept moving. As long as you're in a state of momentum, keep moving. That's the antidote to fear. Progress, movement, action, forward. That's the antidote to fear.
And we never said it was going to be easy. It's not easy. It's hard. It's very hard. It's simple, but it's hard. And that's a concept that I think will come up quite a bit, is that a lot of these concepts, a lot of these things that we talk about, they're very simple
straightforward.
But they're not easy.
They're very hard.
They're extremely hard.
This whole evolution from employee to entrepreneur that we've undergone, that we're undergoing, is really hard. Like there's no... it looks easy. People sugarcoat it, I think. I went in thinking it would be easier. It's really freaking hard. But so far, it's worth it.
Totally. And I just want to make it clear to people that when we're saying, oh, the number one antidote to fear is just do it. Mm-hmm. That's still really hard.
It's the hardest. It's the hardest thing.
It's
taking action in the face of fear is the hardest thing you're going to do. You're going to do it over and over and over and over again.
And it's going to get a little bit easier, but it'll always still be
hard,
challenging.
Yeah, because the fear never goes away.
Never goes away. So I think we could probably leave it there for this episode. Yep. It's the first one in of many to come. But we'll sign off with enjoy your road of life, and we'll see you when we see you.